Hello, everybody. This is Joseph Pasek, and welcome to the Fired Up Network. Welcome to CFL No Yards, and welcome to the 112th Grey Cup preview with the broadcasting legend, Stormin Norm Rumack. We're both CFL and NFL fans, and in fact, I don't want to speak for myself, but we like the CFL maybe even better than the NFL, right, Norm?
I like both the same.
Both the same. Are you Canadian or are you American? Maybe you're British and I don't even know about it. And by the way, this week in Toronto, we saw our first snowfall. We saw now 1 degree, 2 degree, and high 6, 7 degrees. What is the guy dressed? I tell him it's the CFL Grey Cup special. He comes on a tank top. He's ready for Winnipeg, where it's going to be like minus 10 degrees or whatever. Who knows? All right. We got the Montreal Alouettes coming out of the East Division. We got the Saskatchewan Roughriders coming out of the West Division in the 112th Grey Cup. The big story here, Norm, of course, is Montreal quarterback going to be healthy enough? He's undefeated as a starter. He's like 10-0. If he's mobile and if he can get the job done, Montreal wins. If he's slightly off or injured, I think Saskatchewan's going to win. What do you say?
I think Saskatchewan's going to win either way.
Well, you're a Saskatchewan fan.
Yeah, that's right. But they've been the best team in the league the whole season.
Yeah, but sometimes best team in the league and the whole team doesn't win the Grey Cup. You say Saskatchewan. Why is Saskatchewan going to win?
Because for the very reason I just stated, they've been the best team in the CFL the whole season.
Okay. And for me, Montreal has, the Argos winning and then losing and then winning again. They have some magic, and the Argos had some magic every year they go up against Winnipeg, who is arguably the last 5 years. Winnipeg has been the best team in the CFL for a long, long time. All right. And the Argos beat them there and all that. So, like I said, and by the way, I got some breaking news here. We'll reveal it. Winnipeg, the Argos. Winnipeg's coach, Mike O'Shea, is going to most likely be named the new head coach of the Argos. They're waiting for after the Grey Cup to announce it. They don't want to take away anything from the Grey Cup. It sounds to me that Winnipeg's head coach, former Argonaut player, Mike O'Shea, will be now the head coach and the head poobah for the Toronto Argonauts. Of course, pinball will still be the general manager, but all football stuff will go down by Mike O'Shea. And I hear that he will be announced either Monday or Tuesday, just after the Grey Cup. I'll ask you about that right now. What do you think? The Argos lost Ryan Dinwiddie. He's now the head coach of Ottawa, and they have to replace him with former Argonaut Mike O'Shea, and he's been tremendous. He lost a couple Grey Cups to the Argos, but Winnipeg, the last 6-7 years, every year they've gone to the Grey Cup. What do you think of Mike O'Shea being the new head coach of the Argos?
Yeah, well, he had a dynasty in Winnipeg with all those Grey Cups that they appeared in. Too bad they didn't win more of them. He was a great player. If I'm not mistaken, he was a linebacker with the Argos. And he was a very good football player. So it'll be a homecoming for him. Obviously, he'd be very close with Mike Pinball Clemens and be a good fit. I think he'll do well in Toronto.
And that leaves a question mark. Who will be the coach of Winnipeg? But we'll get that throughout the offseason and everything. Okay, so the Grey Cup, the 112th edition of the Grey Cup. So I'm going to ask you a couple of questions here, Norm. Give me one of your favorite Grey Cup memories. It doesn't matter if it's the Argos. It doesn't matter if it's Montreal, BC, Calgary, Saskatchewan. One of your favorite memories of the Grey Cup, 112th edition, now coming up today, Sunday.
Yeah, well, growing up as an Argos fan, as a youngster, the 71 Grey Cup featuring Joe Theismann at quarterback and Leon X-Ray McQuay in the backfield. He fumbled the ball late in the game. Turned out to be a game breaker, but he was a great player, Leon X-Ray McQuay. And Joe Theismann went on to win a Super Bowl with the Washington Redskins in 1983. They were known as the Redskins back then, of course. And so, yeah, that one. And also let's see, what year was it? When the Argos beat the BC Lions, they had, it
1983.
was 1983.
Yeah, 1983. Bobo Vilovich there, and they won 18-17, the first Argonauts Grey Cup victory in a long time. And I remember that well. I was like 9, 10 years old, and Bobo Vilovich celebrating on they beat them in, I believe, BC Lions Stadium as well.
Yeah, I believe the game was in Vancouver. That's
Yeah.
right. So, yeah, it was a big win for the Argos. Ended a long drought. As you mentioned, they hadn't won since 1952. And that was a pretty joyous occasion in Toronto back then, with the Argos still being very popular as they were back in those days.
Now, I mentioned this is the 112th Grey Cup. Arguably, the Grey Cup, everybody, if you're a fan of the CFL, you make it like the Super Bowl. I don't mean it's as big as the Super Bowl, but some Grey Cup games have been better than the Super Bowl and everything like that. I know you pick Saskatchewan, but do you expect it to be a very close game and Saskatchewan pulling away maybe by a touchdown at the end?
Yeah, most Grey Cups are pretty exciting games. They're pretty unpredictable. And as they say about the CFL, no lead is safe. And that's what makes the CFL a great league. It's highly competitive, highly unpredictable, and it's great entertainment. It's not the same kind of football as the National Football League, but it's still very enjoyable. And lots of people across Canada watch the Grey Cup. It's one of the most viewed entertainment programs, sports entertainment programs of the year. You won't get the 10 million or whatever it was who were watching the Blue Jays in the World Series, but you'll still get a nice turnout of people who are watching the game right across Canada. It always generates good numbers.
And obviously, when Toronto is there, it's a little bit more of a bump there. Of course, the Argos winning last year, and this year they're the worst team in the league. But at the beginning of the year, nobody, and I don't care who you are, Norm, you wouldn't expect Montreal and Saskatchewan in the Grey Cup final.
Well, I would expect Saskatchewan. Wasn't a big surprise. They've been a very good team for a long time. So I don't know if you picked them first, but nobody's surprised that Saskatchewan is there. Maybe a little surprised about Montreal, but no one is surprised about Saskatchewan. Not really.
All right. So again, you're picking Saskatchewan. Give me a score and give me the MVP of the game.
All right, I'll pick Saskatchewan to win. Let's see. I'm just doing my math in my mind.
Today, Norm, not for next Grey Cup, right? In Calgary, by the way, Grey Cup 113 in Calgary.
35-28. How's that?
35-28 for Saskatchewan. And who's the MVP?
Geez, I don't know, Joe. I'm going to take a pass on that. I don't know who's going to be the MVP.
Trevor Harris, former Argonaut to Saskatchewan quarterback, by the way. Usually in the Grey Cup, if you win, usually the quarterback is the MVP. And for that matter, okay, you pick Saskatchewan, I'll pick Montreal, and I'll pick Davis Alexander, the famed quarterback of the Alouettes, to win. And I think I like 28, so I think Montreal will win 31-28, last second field goal there in Winnipeg. It's going to be a great time in Winnipeg. Looking at the weather, it's going to be like 3 degrees. I don't see snow or anything, but that's Grey Cup weather. Remember Shania Twain riding there and everything like that. Good halftime show. Enjoy the Grey Cup, everybody. It's sure going to be fantastic. And just before the Grey Cup at 6 o'clock, don't forget, Sunday, NFL football. We got the Buffalo Bills, Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Buffalo Bills wearing their old-time jersey and old Buffalo logo. Norm, Buffalo, Tampa, who do you pick?
Well, that's also, Buffalo's got to bounce back. I'll pick Buffalo by a field goal, but that's it.
You're going to give me a heart attack by a field goal, knowing they lost last week. Oh, wow. Wow. All right, so that's Grey Cup 112. It's again in Winnipeg. It's Montreal Alouettes, Saskatchewan Roughriders. And Norm, quickly before we close it out here, tell everybody how to get a hold of you.
Yeah, right here on the Fired Up Network, Joe. We're on a couple times a week, cover all the major sports. football, Canadian American, footy overseas, soccer here, the NHL, the NBA, MLB, as you mentioned, National Football League. So yeah, we got everything covered for you right here on the Fired Up Network.
I just I know it's not CFL, but here we go. I got some updates on the Maple Leafs here. Austin Matthews looks like he's week to week. I've been told it's a back injury. Anthony Stolarz, it's a knee injury. That's what I've been told. Condolences, Norm. Maybe you want to talk about this. Larry Brooks, the famed writer from the New York Times, passing away at the age of 75. Bill Lankoff from the Toronto Sun. Also, anything you want to touch on those guys?
Well, condolences to their friends and families and colleagues, and they'll both be missed. Absolutely.
All right. That's broadcasting legend, Storm and Norm Rumack. Enjoy the Grey Cup. And Norm, you know what? Sunday you're off. Why don't you come here? We'll celebrate the Buffalo Bills victory. You'll buy me a steak. You will cook it up here, and we'll watch the Grey Cup together. How about that, Norm?
Oh yeah, sounds lovely, Joe.
I'll invite, good friend of yours, Leanne. Are you going to come here if Leanne comes?
Yeah, but only if Leanne is there.
What about Julie?
Well, Julie too.
What about Betty?
Betty, just as good.
All right, Norm. He says Saskatchewan 35-28. I say Montreal 31-28. Enjoy the Grey Cup, everybody. Thanks a lot, Norm.
Thank you, Joe.